Good day. One of the most common statements many Christians have heard is this: if you don't tithe, you're robbing God. That sounds serious, but is it actually true for Christians today? This idea comes from book of Malachi chapter 3. Will a man rob God? Is often used to warn believers that not giving 10% puts them in spiritual danger. But here's the issue. This verse is often used without context. In Malachi, God is speaking to Israel under the law of Moses. There was a temple, a priesthood, and a national covenant system. Tithing wasn't optional. It was part of that system. So when God says, "You have robbed me," He's addressing a specific nation under a specific covenant, not the New Testament church. When this is applied directly to Christians, it creates fear. It makes people think, if I don't give 10%, I'm stealing from God. But the New Testament never says that about believers. Under the new covenant, giving is not enforced by law. It flows from willingness, not fear. You are not labeled a robber of God because you didn't hit a percentage value. So, line number 1 is this: that Christians are robbing God if they don't tithe. That's not New Testament teaching. Here's another statement many Christians have heard: if you don't tithe, you are under a curse. That's heavy. But is it biblical? This idea also comes from book of Malachi 3, where it speaks about being cursed with a curse. Again, this was spoken to Israel under the law. Under that covenant, obedience brought blessing and disobedience brought consequences. But everything changes with Christ. The New Testament teaches that believers are no longer under the law as a covenant system. And more importantly, the case of the law has already been dealt with through Christ. That means God is not placing financial cases on believers for not tithing. This teaching creates fear-based giving. People don't give because they love God. They give because they're afraid something bad will happen if they don't. That distorts the gospel. Giving in the New Testament is never tied to avoiding cases. It is tied to grace, gratitude, and willingness. God is not threatening you. He's inviting you. So, line number 2 is this: that Christians are under a curse if they don't tithe. That's not how God relates to believers today. The third major lie is this: if you tithe, God will financially bless you. It sounds encouraging, but it's misleading. This idea often comes from the same passage in book of Malachi: open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing. But again, that promise was tied to Israel's covenant system. It was about national obedience, not a universal financial formula. Some people say, I tithe and my finances improved. That may be true. Giving can build discipline and wisdom. But personal experience is not the same as a promise from God. The New Testament never presents giving as a way to unlock wealth. God is not a transaction system. You don't give to get. You give because you've already received. Sometimes generous people prosper. Sometimes they struggle. But the promise is not guaranteed money. It's God's presence, provision, and grace. So lie number 3 is this: that tithing guarantees financial blessing. The truth: giving is not about securing income. It's about expressing a transformed heart. And when you understand that, you're no longer controlled by fear, pressure, or false promises. If this teaching has helped you, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, like, comment, and share. We are using Understanding Bible Doctrine on Tithe and Tithing, Myths, Misuse, and Biblical Truth as our reference book. You can order the book online using the link below for your own in-depth study. Thank you.